What's going on, everybody? Man, Micah's back with another video. Back here to discuss Samsung Unpacked 2023, where Samsung barely even covered the S23 and S23 Plus themselves, because as we know, most of us don't even really bother with those devices. As good as they are, I think they actually had good, meaningful updates over the S22 series, including the design, which brings a more uniform look and similarities to the Ultra model, as well as bigger batteries, and of course, Samsung having Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 across the board globally for their devices. So I like the fact that they're incorporating a lot of that, even with the more base devices in the S23 and the Plus model. But the device that we know we care about is the S23 Ultra, something that I find to have had meaningful small upgrades in comparison to the S22 Ultra. To me, it's kind of like when you consider software, a lot of the earlier Android updates were very massive overhaul changes, and some of that was even introduced with Android 13, but as we've seen over the course of time, you could really even use Android probably 11, 12, and 13 as good examples. They've been more small, incremental, meaningful updates that really impact the way you use your phone, the way security is implemented on the phone, as well as privacy. Well, I find that to be similar with the S23 Ultra in terms of its meaningful upgrades. The first being the design. I like the fact that they kind of squared it out a little bit more, gave it a little bit more of a bulky look, flattened out the top display, of course. Even though I wasn't bothered by the curved edge that barely existed, I still found and find that the S22 Ultra is a joy to use in hand, and I definitely feel like that's going to be the case with the S23 Ultra. One of the things I couldn't quite tell is if the S23 Ultra's S Pen is bigger than what it was with the S22 Ultra, but I do like the fact that there, of course, was improvements there. I didn't hear them make any noticeable changes in terms of like latency or anything like that. Just a year-over-year update from that perspective. The battery also didn't change, but with the 8 Gen 2 and Samsung having a little bit of additional input on the processing, I find that we're going to get even more power efficiency out of the S22 or S23 Ultra, as well as software consistency with the S23 Ultra. That's something that I'm looking forward to, and I liked to see. What was some of the other upgrades? Well, the biggest upgrade, if you will, in my opinion, of course, is the cameras. The 40 megapixel selfie from the S22 Ultra was swapped out for a new sensor, a 12 megapixel that actually gives you better quality. I believe the 40 megapixel bend down to 10 megapixels. So now we're actually getting 2 additional megapixels along with better quality, better low light, portrait, and pro. Video and photo is available with the selfie camera now, which is also amazing to see. So it will be interesting to see how that works in low light. And then I can also say that on the back side, the rear cameras have had a massive overhaul from that perspective as well. Again, all new sensors. The 200 megapixel sits right there square in the middle of the 3 on the left side, if you will. You have that one smaller size telephoto, lens that's right underneath the laser focus. I would imagine that's what it is. I'm not even familiar myself. But the 200 megapixel, you get 2 options if you want to take the full advantage of that sensor with a 200 megapixel or a 50 megapixel. Just know that your file size is going to be pretty massive, or at least larger than normal with that. Almost on the level, if not on the level of a traditional camera picture size. So that's going to be interesting to see as well. I do like the fact that they did make those upgrades to the S23 Ultra to make it more enticing. We also have the 12 megapixel ultra wide, of course. I believe the field of view is slightly wider. And then of course the 10x zoom, as well as the 3x zoom, which I was referring to earlier. So again, to improve super zoom, with advertising, they advertise, shooting to the moon, essentially showing the fact that low light is way better now. with all of the sensors, primarily with the 200 megapixel, of course, and their front selfie. And I like the fact that they're improving low light, because a lot of people take pictures in low light and have trouble getting consistent, nice shots. And to see that we're gonna hopefully get a more natural low light look as we more or less get on the Android side as opposed to Apple side with their very, very bright low light pictures that almost feel, you know, in like super enhanced. I want to see what that looks like with the S23 Ultra. The other big difference that we find to be very key with the S23 Ultra is improvements to video. Yes, something Google I think is also kind of working on in the background, but Samsung has improved video over time anyway, and to see them again step it up with a better stabilization, better low light, better quality 4K footage, and improvements to 8K, something that I'm not worried about, but to see a 30 frames per second option is pretty cool. But the fact that you get HDR with 4K 60 is something that is very, very nice, very, very good to see, because shooting this in 4K, if I want to include B-roll shots, my editor, LumaFusion, being on my side, I can now apply 4K footage to my B-roll. So using my camera from a traditional standpoint, or even using my smartphone, I will be able to get exactly what I want with 4K with better improved technology from Samsung. Now, with all that being said, will I get it? If I do, it might be a little late, because they didn't do a good job with the trade-in deals, and I think most people's opinions. We know that they couldn't continue to do the super massive great trade-in deals of, you know, giving you almost 90% value back on your phone. I think we understand that, but I think we almost wanted one more year of substantial trade-in deals before they kind of started walking back, and at least, you know, walk back to a more regular, you know, 50-60% value for your phone or trade-in value. I wish they would have took that approach as opposed to just kind of hitting everybody over the head with very poor trade-in deals. I think that's something that kind of hurt a lot of people, me included, because I was hoping to just trade it in, bow, but that's not gonna be the case per se. If you want to trade in for the S23 Ultra and you have an S22 Ultra, you only get $600 worth of trade-in credit, which I find to be a little bit on the low side. I should say a lot of bit. They should have at least offered, I think, $800, considering that we paid $1,200 for it, and you're looking to pay another $1,200 to $1,400 for the S23 Ultra. You should have at least been able to get $800 worth of trade-in value from Samsung store, especially if you want to get some of the colors. I like the fact that they have a graphite color. It's a little surprising that it's an exclusive color. My Tab S8 Ultra is graphite color, so I would be somewhat interested in that color. I would also be interested in the red color. I know I got played with my Z Flip 4 because that is not red, and it actually would have did it better if it was matte and not gloss. So I wouldn't be opposed to getting the red that I saw that looks a lot more red, but then also looks a lot more like that, a little more red than the pumpkin spice color that Google had for the Pixel 4 series. But I would like to see that red, because at least at minimum it would match my Z Flip 4 that I have. So I would go between the red and the graphite, because I also want those black frames. The colors for the S23 Ultra are decent. I like that cream color because it's got like a gold element to it. I like the black, of course. The green is also very intriguing. The lime exclusive is cool, right? That lilac color, lavender or whatever, looks a little pinkish, looks a little purplish, kind of trying to get the wife into it, you know what I'm saying? I find them taking this step, bringing different colors would be pretty cool. It would be nice if they just brought red straight as a color, much like Apple has done in the past and basically continues to do so. Instead of exclusivizing the color, actually make it a standard color of the phone, because a lot of people like red. And blue for that matter. So seeing them bring that darker blue back, bringing that red back, bringing some of those vibes back, that would be pretty neat. I don't know about the emerald green that they had back with the S6 series, but definitely red and blue they should consider for sure. So trade-in value wise, it's a little tough. If you go through a carrier like T-Mobile, T-Mobile has like the best deals. You'll get like $1,000 towards your bill and like $365 instant trade-in credit, and then you have to pay like $834 or something like that over the course of your bill if you went that route. I find that to be very amazing that they would do that. So that's definitely an option. And since I went T-Mobile, that is an option as well. I just lose out on the exclusive color, leaving me with the choice of green or black. I want the black frames. I may go with black. I haven't had a black phone in a while, but I also don't mind trying another color. And that green, that dark green, looks very, very nice. So if I do get it, you'll see it on the channel. It may just be a little bit because I just don't have access to cash flow right now, especially with them trading deals kind of hurting. So if you see it on the channel, that's what you would see, the S23 Ultra. And then my sights are definitely set on trying to obtain a Fold series. I actually wouldn't even mind getting a Fold 4 over the S23 Ultra, but I definitely know the Fold 5, if the rumors are true with the Fold 5, I'm going to definitely be interested in what that Fold 5 looks like. So those are my thoughts on the S23 series as a whole. The Galaxy Book 3 Ultra is also something I'm eyeballing. I was eyeballing a Razer laptop for the longest because I know what I want as a powerhouse laptop that I can keep for a while. And Razer has consistency or reliability, has, you know, proved themselves in that market of a powerhouse portable device. And so now with Samsung entering that ball game with the Galaxy Book 3 Ultra, offering an NVIDIA 4050 or 4070 RTX GPU and a Core i9 processor, that's exactly something that I would want. Right, it's right up my alley, and I wouldn't have to pay the same premium. In fact, I'd probably say $2,000. So where do I see that sacrifice of $2,000? Because to get that on the Razer side, you're looking at, you know, $3,800 to $4,500, whereas with Samsung, it's about $2,500 to $2,800 after taxes, $2,800. So that's something I would also eyeball. I find that to be a very great companion with the Tab S8 Ultra, as well as the Galaxy device that I'm using, because I have accepted and appreciated, humbly accepted, being in Samsung's ecosystem and how it works very well for what I do, especially since I use a lot of the devices for content creation. So I like the Galaxy Book 3 Ultra. I like the fact that they're staying consistent, bringing out new updates for those. But again, we're at that point where upgrading your device, you don't have to do it all that often, especially on the laptop side, and most likely on the tablet side. That's probably why we haven't really heard too much about Samsung and tablets, because unless they go bigger again, where they add better or more desktop support with Samsung DeX, you know, to get more editors outside of LumaFusion and Power Director and Filmic Pro and all that, like more kind of DaVinci, right? Like seeing something like that come to Android, not just Apple. Can Samsung make the case for it on the tablet side? That's something that's going to be interesting. I don't know if I'm gonna spend the same kind of money that I did on my tablet again, unless they're giving great trade-in value for the tablets. But that trade-in value for the Tab S7 Plus back when I was trying to get the Tab S8 Ultra originally was pitiful. So I don't have a lot of hope in that way. And I'm actually happy. The Tab S8 Ultra is very powerful, very strong. It provides a lot of good benefit and value to my workflow. And so I couldn't be more pleased with my Tab S8 Ultra, and it's gonna be supported for a little bit from Samsung, so that's also great to see. Maybe after support, but as long as my editor works just fine, I won't have to really upgrade like that. And it's a great media consumption beast as well. Just a little wieldy to hold in the hand from time to time. So keep that in mind. Keyboard works great. So again, I would like to add the Galaxy Book 3 Ultra to my workflow. The S23 Ultra, if I can't get it to my workflow. A little surprised we didn't see no earbuds. Usually this is the time frame in which they drop new earbuds of some sort. So I was a little surprised to see they didn't have that, but it is what it is. Maybe we'll see it in a few months, summertime, in the fall, to launch alongside the new Fold and Flip series. That would be interesting to see as well. No rumors about tablets. So again, I've concluded my tablet section of this video. Let me know down in the comment section below what you guys thought about Galaxy Unpacked. What was your favorite device? Are you thinking about getting a new Samsung Galaxy device? What do you think about the tablets and the laptop space? the comment section is open for discussion. But again, as always, if you guys haven't already, make sure to like the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so that way you miss my videos on my live. Woo! So that way you sit back and see what's cracking, because I don't live stream on this channel, at least not yet anyway. Let me know if you're interested in my podcast coming back as well, because I think these talking head points are kind of revving me up to bring my podcast back, and I'll probably just stand here and do it like this. This would be slightly longer, so we'll see. But let me know down in the comment section below your thoughts about anything in regards to this channel. It's your man Micah signing out. Until the next video, wait for it.